Welcome back. The U.S. Justice Department has hacked into that encrypted iPhone used by one of the San Bernardino terrorists. It has also asked now a court to withdraw an order that would have forced Apple to break into that phone. But questions remain. There's a much larger fight here over privacy rights and law enforcement's ability to access encrypted information. The tech industry is unified against anything that helps authorities bypass their security features. They say it undermines everyone's personal security. But government officials say criminal investigations and your safety would be at risk without access to this kind of data. From the beginning, we objected to the FBI's demand that Apple build a backdoor into the iPhone because we believed it was wrong and would set a dangerous precedent. Apple said in a statement late Monday, quote, as a result of the government's dismissal of that case, neither of these occurred. This case should never have been brought. Now, it is considered a big win for Apple, which strongly opposed the DOJ's court order that has now been dropped. It would have forced the company to write new software to hack into the iPhone used by Rizwan Farouk, who, along with his wife, went on a jihad-inspired rampage last December in San Bernardino. 14 people were killed, 22 wounded. That couple died in a shootout with police after the attack. Joining us now for more on this, we want to welcome in Bernie Kerik, former New York City Police Commissioner and author of From Jailer to Jailed. Also with us, Ron Hosko, the former Assistant Director of the FBI and President of the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund. Gentlemen, great to speak with you today.
Thank you.
Good to be with you.
All right, your reaction, I guess this is kind of the best case scenario for Apple here, having somebody be able to break into their phone, but there are bigger questions. Ron, first to you, what do you think actually happened here?
I think that in the dust up that was this first skirmish in this longer, far more protracted battle between security and security, that someone came forward, a white hat, a hacker, someone who is skilled, maybe corporate, that decided they had a methodology and they wanted to offer it to the FBI. Whether that means back-end business, whether it's somebody that's already doing work with the FBI in another way. You know, in the days after the first engagement here, there was a lot of chatter in the internet about different ways to attack these phones. So certainly there's a way out there, and it seems as though the FBI found that way through some external source.
Well, Bernie, I want to take a listen to what Apple CEO Tim Cook said during a 60 Minutes interview just a while back. And he says the damage that may have been caused if the federal government can compel companies to hack in to their own technology. Let's take a listen.
If there's a way to get in, then somebody will find a way in. There have been people that suggest that we should have a back door. But the reality is if you put a back door in, that back door is for everybody, for good guys and bad guys.
All right, so apparently that back door exists. Should we be concerned that not just the federal government, but other hackers can get into our phones?
Well, I mean, that's always going to be a concern, and the sophistication of this technology today will be outdated probably within 6 months from now. The sophistication with which they build these devices and the sophistication which the hackers use to get into them, that stuff grows as we go on. I think the FBI's argument to get into the phone was extremely important. I think it was justified, and I think like anything else, you get a warrant, you go before a judge, you justify your desire to get into the phone legally, and a judge gives you an order to get in there. I think if the phone is created in a way where it's locked down and the only people that can get in there is Apple, well, then I don't see a problem with going to the court, getting a warrant, and having a judge give you the authorization to go in and get the information you need.
Seems like common sense. I think this is probably the best case scenario for all the parties involved here, and hopefully this will lead the law enforcement to have the ability to prevent some of these attacks and continue this investigation and give justice to the victims and their families. Now, next topic, guys, I want to bring this up real quick. The Secret Service says there will be no guns allowed at the GOP convention this coming summer. There was a petition online, something like 45,000 people signed. They thought the guns should be allowed. There is a limit, I think, to our Second Amendment rights. Right, guys? This seems like a really bad idea. Ron, first to you.
Yeah, I think that the Secret Service certainly has the prerogative to put up a security cordon around its protectees. They should certainly be doing that in the case of the either convention, any significant event involving its protectees. And you always have to be concerned about the unintended consequences. What if, okay, so we have 3,000 people bringing guns into a convention, and somebody decides to show someone next to them their gun and it accidentally discharges? Then what happens? So the easy answer here is the absolute answer, which is set up a security cordon and keep those weapons out. The law enforcement weapons are the only weapons on the inside.
Yeah, Bernie, all three of the Republican presidential candidates said they needed to see the petition first, but shouldn't this be a common sense thing? Shouldn't they just say it's a bad idea? I know they got to be careful about what they say sometimes, but
this is a bad idea. I mean, the reality is the Secret Service has protectees they're responsible for, but it's also categorized as a national event that they oversee in conjunction with the local authorities and the state police. So in that case, they have to worry about every single person in that convention. And like Ron says, you have an accidental discharge, just an accidental discharge,
right,
you're going to have a major catastrophe and major problems. So I think they made the right decision. End it.
Could be very scary. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us today. Great to talk to you on these two topics. More coming up after this.